What's good, y'all? It's me, Chris, back here with another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing Insecure Season 4, Episode 9. But before we get into that, I just want to say that I do live tweet the show every single Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So whatever time that may be for you, you can go ahead and catch my initial reactions before I post the video the next day. I just have a good time kikiing with a bunch of my other Twitter mutuals, discussing the show, getting their opinions and hot takes. It's a really good time. So if you're active on Twitter, go ahead and follow me over there. So we start off the episode. We have this beginning scene. It's a montage of Issa and Lawrence spending a bunch of time together. And I gotta say, Insecure and the team was really selling me this Issa and Lawrence dynamic. I was not for it at the beginning. I thought last week's episode was definitely on some closer shit. But I am like, oh, this is cute. I wouldn't mind if they get back together. I still like the fact that they're not taking it too seriously. They didn't even know what to call it yet. They're just having a good time enjoying each other. And little to me, like, I'm really surprised that it wasn't a dream. I thought for sure this montage was going to be a dream, and it turns out that no, they really have just been spending much time together and been having sex and enjoying each other's company. It was refreshing. I'm not going to lie. It was a nice surprise. So they're sitting there enjoying each other's company, having dinner on the couch. Nathan texts Issa and asks her to help him move, and she doesn't respond. She wants to bring it up to Lawrence, and she asks Lawrence, like, hey, I have this person who I used to date, but we're just friends now. He wants me to help him move, and he's like, okay. And I was wondering, like, why would she tell him if Lawrence wasn't important, if this doesn't mean anything? And then she actually even clarifies and just like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? Where are we going? And if I was just dating somebody, I wouldn't feel the need to tell them that I'm going to go with my ex to move. Like, clearly, this is something of importance to Issa. And also, you could just tell that she's growing. She doesn't want to make any, she wants to be open and upfront and honest in her relationships, and be able to communicate effectively the problems that she's been having before in a lot of other her relationships with Molly and Lawrence. So I think that's great. Great self awareness coming from Issa. She asks Lawrence about Condola. It's over. She's not pregnant, as a lot of y'all thought. That was like a crazy ass rumor that I saw on Twitter and a bunch of other YouTubers who review the show. I like Insecure is not that type of show. Like, Issa and the team wouldn't have gone that route. Like, that's totally not their genre of storytelling. So Condola and Lawrence are Issa. So now Condola and Lawrence are over. So now Issa and Lawrence have a clear path to be able to explore their relationship. Molly goes to see her therapist. It's so lovely, the actress that plays Rhonda. I wish I would have looked up her name before I filmed this video, but refreshing, comforting, very much needed with Molly. Molly's going into this therapy session thinking that she did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. She thinks Issa is at fault, and to me, that's the problem that I have with Molly: the fact that she's not willing to take any accountability for her actions. She is not self-aware at all in which the part that she took in this exchange. And the therapist asked some really good questions. She asked, "Do you want to be right or in relationship?" Molly responds, well, that's my best friend. She said, let me clarify for you. Do you want to do the work of repairing the friendship? Ooh, snaps to the therapist. Have Molly really thinking about some really deep things about her dynamic with Issa. So we cut to Issa. She's at home. She's on her laptop working. They pair a song perfectly with this scene. There's some lyrics that says like, "Can't F with me. I'm in my element. Every day I be hustling." Great storytelling as she's working. Nathan texts her. He confirms that you can meet up with me on Tuesday after 3 p.m. Issa seems uncomfortable with this, and so she's like, I need advice. So she calls Kelly. Kelly goes straight to voicemail. She also leaves a voicemail in Spanish. And I think that's great, actually, especially living in California. There's a lot of people who speak Spanish. So bilingual. She lives in LA, which has a huge Latinx community. Like, I think that was cute. It was funny. Couldn't get any advice from Kelly, couldn't reach her, calls Amal. Amal is eating some spicy food, completely distracted, gives Issa no advice, and then she thinks to call Molly. She calls Molly. She's just like, "Hey, can we talk? I want to work on this. Like, everything that's been going on with both of our jobs, and I started seeing Lawrence again, and you're the only one that I could talk to about this." And Molly is like, "See, you're so freaking selfish." And then we realize that is our dream sequence. That is the one that's a dream, not from the early one in the episode, but this was a dream sequence. And I will say, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like bringing it up in one breath is bad. Like the fact that you want to mend your friendship, and part of the reason why you want to mend is because you want to talk to her about something that's going on in your life. I feel like a lot of people feel like that. I definitely experienced that just a year and a half ago when I had a disagreement with my friend and we weren't talking for a few weeks. And it's funny, when we both finally came together and talked about the issues and have resolved, we both had said like, dang, we wanted to talk to the other person about stuff that was going on in their lives, because we know that both of us would only understand it, but that we needed to settle like our issues first. So the sentiment of wanting to tell your best friend that you would like to resolve things so that way you can get back to your dynamics, I think it's not bad, but I definitely don't think it's good to say it all in one breath. We realize that it's, like I said, it's just a dream. So she has some self-reflection. She realizes that, hey, let me not be a user and let me actually care about this person that I would like to mend this friendship with. Issa and Molly meet up to talk, and Issa is nervous. She's rambling towards the waitress, and the waitress is like, "Can I get you some alcohol?" She's like, "Yeah, can I get a mimosa with light orange juice?" I'm gonna have to try that. This is the second drink that we got because of Insecure. Last week was a Prosecco with vodka. This week we're getting a mimosa light orange juice. I don't know why I never thought of that. Issa and Molly refers it to a light skin mimosa. Hilarious. So Molly comes, they sit down, they have a conversation, and no one brings up any issues. No one addresses anything. I'm like, wow, no one's gonna bring up nothing. We're just gonna skate right over it. We're just gonna do like small talk. We're just gonna do like this chimmy kind of talk. They get up from dinner they get up from lunch, brunch, and nothing is resolved. Issa says, "I love you," and kumbaya. I was so confused. I will say, I do think Issa could have brought something up. I think she could have. But I also say, Molly, at bare minimum, if you didn't think you did anything wrong, you could have at least expressed to your friend how you felt. So later we cut into the scene. Just this right next scene, Molly is returning back to Andrew's apartment. Andrew is asking Molly how everything went. And she's like, it was fine. We, caught up and didn't really address any issues or the block party. And Andrew's like, well, did you tell her how you feel? And Andrew is always the voice of reason. That man got a lot of sense. He's like, you could at least tell her how you felt, and that's what I felt. You could have at least addressed the issues in the way that you were feeling at bare minimum, even if you thought Issa was wrong. And in my opinion, I don't think Issa was at fault for the block party incident. Period. But whatever, Molly's gonna be selfish and unaware of her actions, and so she's moving on. Um, Issa and her assistant are working on another job assignment, and they booked. They are booked. They is moving. I'm loving it. Issa's assistant, it's like, I need to gain some weight. She has her purse waffles. She offers Issa one, and she's like, "How's it still warm?" The assistant's like, "Oh, hand warmers." I'm like, Another gym. Another gym. We had the mimosa with light orange juice, and now we're getting hand warmers as mobile ovens. Genius. Genius. I have it down here in my notes. Trust me, I am going to be trying this out. We got quarantine. It's still quarantine. We got time. I got time to try mimosa with light orange juice and hand warmers to keep my food warm. So genius. So Issa and Lawrence have a quick conversation. Lawrence is a phone conversation. Lawrence mentions San Francisco. I'm pretty sure that that's like dropping a gem, not a gem, but I feel like that's like a little Easter egg for what may come in later in the next episode. Also, Issa tells Lawrence that, everything is resolved and I really love her and it feels so good. Like you can tell it's such a juxtaposition in the way that they view this relationship and this dynamic. Like I said, you could tell Issa is trying and she wants to make an effort, but when you see back with Molly, she's just like, Issa didn't even try. Issa didn't even like. Issa reached out to you, like that was an effort. And considering when you blew up at her party, yo, Molly is trash. I'm over her. So we skip on up. There's a lot of transitions this episode. There's like scene after scene after scene. There's so much that goes on during this episode. So Issa and Nathan meet up. Issa's helping Nathan pack. She mentions to Nathan that she's dating Lawrence, and Nathan's like, "Oh, okay, the one that you cheated on." And she's like, yeah, we talked things through and we're doing really well. And he's like, okay, I hope he does better the second time around. And she was like, yeah, at least he knows how to use his words and not disappear. Nathan got so serious. I didn't just disappear. I'm bipolar. And I was like, ooh. We finally get to see why he just suddenly disappeared last season. And Issa has so much egg on her face because it put things into perspective. And also she realized, like, wow, this time is different. It ain't like an ain't shit nigga per usual. It's like a man that actually was dealing with something so deep and important and prevalent in his life, his mental health. So you could tell that shifts things of how she views Nathan. I want to remind y'all, if it wasn't for Molly, that Issa probably would have found this out last season from Nathan when he was trying to visit her on her birthday. But whatever, I think it was a great intimate moment. Issa's just like, I hope you're doing okay. He's like, yeah, I realized I got some clarity and you're somebody who I want in my life. And I'm like, this is sweet. This is cute. It feels like definitely like a setup of maybe next episode we might get like a Lawrence versus Nathan situation. I don't know. It might change a little bit of how you can definitely see that the way she perceives Nathan is different now. So Molly is back over to Andrew's place. They're about to have dinner. They have a discrepancy of whether or not they're going to have Indian or Chinese food. And as per usual, Molly gets to pick because she's so self-serving. They then have a conversation. Molly's like, how's your time with your brother at the game? And he tells her it's great. I wish you would have been there. And he's like, well, I don't know why you would, force me into a situation and that I don't feel comfortable in. And I'm not gonna lie, I do think that I'm with Molly. Like, I'm not gonna be with your racist brother. And we don't know. I don't know if anything was addressed as far as like Andrew saying that like Victor wants to apologize and hold himself accountable for making Molly feel that way. I'm not really sure. I don't know if that would make things better, but I do think that you have to take into consideration like this is somebody that you want to date, that you want to be with, and their brother wants to make amends, wants to acknowledge his wrongdoings. I do think that it's worth at least having a conversation. And a lot of people agree that the manner in which she blew up at Victor's brother, considering that it was the first time meeting, they were all on vacation. A lot of people found that Molly also had some fault in that as well. So they got saved by the bell because Issa, at the peak of their conversation, Issa and Nathan come into the room and there's an awkward exchange. As per usual, I do this a lot actually. This is why I relate to Issa a lot. But Issa always like breaks into song, or if there's a word association, she'll use it in like a song that is familiar with whatever words are being spoken. Like I'm very much like that. I hear a word and I just start bringing it into song. So they have a quick exchange. Molly says, stay for dinner. Like, there's enough food and, we can have a great time. And Issa and Nathan oblige. They end up having a dinner. They're drinking. They're laughing. They're having a good time. And I'm thinking, damn, this shit is too good to be true. Like, the fact that they're having such of a great time and nothing has been addressed just makes me nervous. So they're playing this trivia game. It's a celebrity height game that Issa came up with, and they guess like, what is Bernie's height? Everyone had guessed 5'6", 5'7", 5'9". I was thinking around that too. Turns out Bernie Sanders is 6 foot, and I was like, no way. So I googled it. I paused the episode and I googled it, and I was like, I was taken aback. I mean, the man has a hunch, and he's 78 years old. But damn, he's 6 foot. He reads very short, like Andrew said in the episode. He reads very short. I don't know if I've never just realized his height in correlation to the podium or in correlation to other people. I just never paid attention. He reads like a very short person. And I thought that this would be fun, actually. Fun fact, if y'all didn't know, did y'all know that Andrew is actually Australian? I've happened to follow him from, I thought he was so fine, and I followed him last season on social media, and I realized quickly that he was Australian. I guess if you don't follow him, you don't know. You don't know. But that man is Australian. He has a really good American accent. So a little fun fact within the fun fact, within the show, within the review. Very Inception. I'm giving you Inception here. Just appreciate it. So right after they have this game, they find out that Bernie's height is 6 foot. Andrew wants to go get another bottle. Molly is supposed to text Andrew, but she ends up texting Issa. See, I'm trying with her. That's how my mouth was. I had 2 mouth drops during this episode. And Issa texts Molly, yeah, I don't think this was for me. And she's like, you know what, I'm going to go. Nathan barely even runs after her. I guess Molly is handling it. Molly's like, Issa, wait up. They're having this exchange outside. Molly's like, this just all feels so forced. Issa's like, I'm trying, but, I can't be the only one putting in an effort. And it's like, we haven't even talked about what's going on. Let's talk about the block party. Then she's like, this is way past the block party. We've been off for months. And Issa's like, I know. That's why I invited you. That's why I called you. But I can't be the only one that wants to make this work. And Molly returns and replies with the gag of the season and says, I don't know. Maybe who you are and who you are now and who I am now just don't fit anymore. Issa says, okay. Molly says, okay. Issa says, there's not really much more to say here. And her lift comes. She drives off. Molly walks up to the steps, and that's the end of the episode. You could see Issa was so distraught. You could see that Issa was so taken aback. I was so sad. Honestly, seeing that, I really was sad. I really would have loved. I mean, we don't know what's to come. This is Molly's a main character in the show, so we got to take into consideration. I'm sure they're not just going to write out a main character, but I am very interested to see what where their relationship will go from here. If there is anything else, I do believe though, respectfully, what Molly said, I think it was very necessary and had to be said. Sometimes you just outgrow people. It's fine if she doesn't want to change. It's fine if she doesn't want to change. Then I'm going to be over here doing me and you're going to be over here doing you. There's no point in me sticking around and try to make you change. That's not something you're interested in. Like I said earlier, Molly takes no accountability. She's selfish. She lacks so much emotional maturity. And Issa's not unscathed during this for sure. Like I said, I do believe that Issa could have brought it up or at least acknowledged something. But Issa put so much effort. And I still believe that Molly was the one in the wrong with that block party, the way she approached Issa. I think Issa was doing a lot. And we don't know, of course, they don't know what was going on in each other's lives, but Issa did a lot of reflecting on that situation and what Molly felt and Molly's feelings. Did we see Molly doing that? Did we see Molly having an introspective moment and taking into consideration what Issa said? No, we didn't. So we'll see where this episode goes. We get the preview. I'm not really sure. We get the preview of next week's episode, and I'm not really sure what to expect at all. Hopefully we get a nice 45-minute episode. This episode was directed by the lovely Kerry Washington. Also, I believe next week's episode is also directed by Kerry Washington. She did a lovely job. I think that this episode and last week's episode paired perfectly together. The writing, we're finally getting clarity. I don't know if everything was supposed to be kind of like vague throughout the whole entire season, and now we get like this clarity. We get it to be very pointed. We're getting really narrowed down to the nitty gritty of the conversation, to everyone's feelings. So the storytelling is coming full circle, thankfully. I really did enjoy this episode. The storytelling has been much better throughout these later episodes. I'm enjoying it so much. I would love to hear what y'all think about this week's episode. Please leave your thoughts in the comment below. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Crispy Knowin family. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!